A couple things I'd like to mention as it relates to Michael, especially. There were when all that happened. Like I said, that was 25 years ago this week. There were a lot of people that reached out. There were a lot of people that did kind things for me. There was a buddy of mine, a business partner. They took care of getting Michael's car back to Dallas for me, so I wouldn't have to drive it home. He had suicided in his car, so that would have been a long ride in that car. And Bubba and Bill took care of make sure that car got to the house for me. And there was a lot of people reaching out and being kind. There was a couple though, and I don't really know why those two stick out so much, but Uncle Dennis called me, and he's not that kind. He's just not. That's just, you know, we're men take it on the chin and we go on. And that's kind of his attitude as well, but he reached out. It was just a phone call. I don't remember, it probably lasted 15 minutes. It wasn't a long conversation. He just called. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. Right now I'm getting in touch with some stuff that I've kept kind of buried for a while. But I got a point I got to make, and the only way to make that point is for y'all to see this. We got back home. It was a Sunday night. We were living in Rowlett. Rick and Renee were living in Saxey at the time. All that, and Graham was only 6 months old, 7 months old, something like that, so he was just a baby. And they came over to the house to check on us. Renee come up. And she just hugged me. But there was a lot of love in that hug. And so the point I want to make never underestimate the impact of a small gesture. When you care and it's sincere, don't underestimate that. You got friends that might be struggling. You think, well, there ain't nothing I can do. Call them, hug them. just don't have any way of knowing how much it might mean. That's enough of that. Michael's gone, but he ain't forgotten. I'm going to trust in the fact that I will get to see him again. There's a lot of church people will tell you that suicide is unforgivable. I don't believe that. That's not biblical in the first place. So I'm going to trust in the fact that, when he got ready to do that, he was getting his affairs in order. I just kind of feel like he probably took care of that too while he was at it. I miss it. That was in 1996. Roll on along. I don't guess there's been a whole lot really extremely traumatic happened since then. We've had a few scary times. Preston got in his car wreck, and that was touch and go there for a few days. It was really scary. We did a lot of praying. I guess I've said all that to say this. I feel like all in all, I've led a pretty charmed life. I got a great wife. I feel like I got a great family. I got great grandkids. Got the best grandkids in the world. And I feel like overall I've led a charmed life. There's been some bumps in the road, but the good Lord got me through those. So what I would tell you is, if you don't have a relationship with the Lord, you might want to give some serious thought to getting one. If you're still thinking about it, that's all right. But think about it. Think about it seriously. I know there's folks that don't believe in God at all. There's folks that don't even believe in a higher power or higher being. They got all these different words for it. Agnostics and atheists, and I put all these crazy labels on people, but what I'm going to tell you is, if you ain't got a relationship with God, you need to give that some thought. Think about it. I will also tell you this: be careful who you listen to about it. There's a lot of crackpots out there. You've got a lot of preachers out there that are name it and claim it. Oh, the promises in the Bible, just claim it and your life is going to be hunky-dory from now on out and you're going to be rich and prosperous. Well, the Bible don't tell you that. The Bible tells you the exact opposite. The Bible tells you you're going to have problems that are common to man. That's Jesus telling you that. You're not going to have, if you go to church and you accept Jesus as your Savior, you are not going to have this hunky-dory perfect life from now on with no hiccups, bumps, or rough spots in it. It ain't going to happen. And he tells you it ain't going to happen. So don't accept that kind of malarkey out of those kind of preachers. Don't accept all that everything's fine kind of preaching. Everything ain't fine. Sin is sin, and there ain't no two ways around it. And we all sin. Every doggone one of us do. We go back to what I was talking about with my dad and me trying to get married at 16, and him telling, churches are full of hypocrites. My dad was a deacon. He sat there one day and told me how all this stuff is so ultra important, holy matrimony, and yada, yada, yada. A year later, he's having an affair. You don't think that didn't have an effect? Yeah, it had a pretty tremendous effect. Churches are full of hypocrites, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm one with them. But we try. we try to walk the walk. We try to set the example, but we fall short. People want to talk about the homosexual lifestyle as a sin, and for what it's worth, I agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that so is gossip. You want to talk about something that's just outright terrible, that probably does more to cause destruction in the world than any one thing, it'd be gossip. It would be loose talk that has no bearing whatsoever in reality. There's just no telling how much damage is done with gossip. They want to talk about abortion being a sin. Yes, I believe it's a sin. So is lying. So is cheating. So is lying on your taxes. The Bible tells us run to Caesar what's Caesar's. So, yeah, we're all hypocrites to some extent. And we've got to be real careful about pointing our fingers at others and their sin, because we want to play like their sin worse than our sin, and that's a bunch of hogwash. Biblically speaking, we do it to try to make ourselves feel better about what we're doing. All that being said, I would tell you, find a church that preaches the Bible and start going and start developing a relationship with God. Get to know Jesus. He can and will be your Savior. He will get you through these rough spots. But you might have to get through them on your own if you don't have Him. Yeah, there's folks that ain't got Jesus, and you would think they were living a charmed life. They live in these McMansions, drive these fancy cars, they got bank accounts that just would blow your mind. Well, they're getting theirs here. What they're going to have in eternity is a whole different story, possibly, and we don't know. We don't know what their heart is. God knows that. I don't personally think we even know what our own heart is. I feel like that we even lie to our own hearts sometimes. But that was the purpose of all these videos, was to try to share this and tell you in such a way that maybe you might give it some thought, because being honest, I'm what you would call a man's man. I'm rodeoed, I rode bulls, I was a cowboy, I worked construction all my life, I worked with really rough people, I run with some really rough crowds. I had a guy tell me one time on a job site that he'd kill me, and he meant every word of it. It was not idle talk. He meant that he would kill me. But at the end of the day, what I would tell you is you can't do it without God, and you can't do it without Jesus. And I don't know if any of y'all will sit through all this to even hear this, but give it some thought. He's just waiting for you to come asking, and he'll be right there with you. If you've got any questions about it, give me a call. If you don't think you're comfortable talking to me, talk to your grandma. If you want to talk to somebody else that might keep your confidence, talk to Brandon and Carol. Talk to Nathaniel. Nathaniel, if you need to talk to somebody, talk to one of us. I love every one of you. And I don't really want to spend my eternity without you. So y'all think about that. And see what you come up with. I love you. Y'all take care of yourself. I think I'm going to go cut grass.